Good morning, Intenders.
Good morning.
Welcome to Morning Intentions. Today is Thursday, January 29th, and this is our month of orientation. The last couple of days, yesterday, we talked about letting things be exactly as they are. A couple caveats that I wanted to touch on before we move on. If you're in a dangerous situation, please do not let things be exactly as they are. If you're not safe, if it is dangerous, please take some action. Don't be bleeding or something like that and say, well, I'm just going to let things be exactly as they are right now. No, if you need to go to the hospital, please go. If you need to call the ambulance or the police, please do. If you need a bandage, do that too. We're talking about if there's not an emergency at the moment, right, Annette?
Well, we're talking about everything that we've been talking about during the month of January, where we start listening to the words that we say in certain situations, and we say, those aren't even my words. Those don't feel even honest. Or we notice we engage in certain behaviors when we're around certain people because we think that will help us to feel safe and feel like we belong, but it really is so counter to who we truly are. I mean, everything that we've talked about this month, we don't want to repeat everything that I shared about when I was going through the process of discovering my word for the year. We're not talking about emergency situations. We're talking about when our life has felt out of control, or when we've lived years and years and we don't even know who we truly are. Or we have had a life of grasping and striving and grasping and striving, and maybe we get what we want and it doesn't fill us up at all. Or we grasp and we strive and we're getting exhausted. Who are we? What do we want to contribute to life? How do we want to show up in our lives? That's what this month is about. It's not about a time when we're bleeding and we just watch ourselves bleed.
Right. I just wanted us to all have the context just so everyone's completely aware of what we're talking about. Because as I was mentioning, I didn't get to fully finish my thought yesterday. As someone who's had to learn to resist the urge to act too soon, what I found through my own practicing is that if I let the situation be exactly as it was, that urge faded. I would give it a week, and it would go away. And what I thought was...
What urge?
The urge to act, like, immediately. Do something. Just do anything to solve the problem. When I would feel that feeling, the urge to act, sit with it, let it be, and it would be bubbling up, saying, Ada, please do something. I don't want to feel this discomfort anymore. If I let that just scream and shout, in my own mind, for about a week, it would go away. And whatever I thought was important and needed to change right then and there, it didn't need to. It actually wasn't that urgent. And if it was urgent, a better way would show itself than what I thought was the initial answer.
Now I'm going to throw a monkey wrench into this.
Uh-oh. Are you really going to?
I am.
I thought I had a nice,
you do.
smooth
you do, and what you're
monologue there.
what you're talking about is what we've been talking about the last few days. Is it's okay to just notice the pattern and not go for the quick fix.
Right.
Also, we don't want to know that we need to make a change. We've listened. We've noticed. We know the patterns. We see. And we don't take the step to make the change. So when we say, and I'm glad you brought that up, Ada. So when we say, it's okay to notice for a while. It's okay to let things be as they are as you're settling yourself after these realizations. Maybe, like I've had, maybe you're noticing how codependent you are. And you're like, I got to stop this. And you take rash actions. That's what we want to avoid. But if you have watched yourself and you know you're codependent, to just say, well, I guess this is how it is. This is insurmountable. This is something that I won't be able to do. And then you just stay stuck. That's also not the answer. it's finding that sweet spot. And so what we're sharing this week is it's okay not to make knee-jerk reactions and think everybody in your life has to change and you have to change immediately. But also, we don't want things to go on too far and too long.
No, there's this initial awareness that, oh, this is what needs to change. You allow things to sit and be in that awareness that things have to be different, bringing up codependency. If you were to just jump at the first thing, you could be blocking everybody you know and just saying, I'm codependent. I got to get away from everybody to not feel codependent anymore. That might not be the answer. So if we allow things to be and we can say, oh, hey, this is a codependent thought I'm having. Wow, I was just about to pick up the phone and offer to help someone when it isn't my responsibility. Do I really want to do that? That's a codependent action I have going on there. And as we build that awareness, we actually can make changes in a pace that honors us, that honors who we are. So it's that listening, it's that noticing what's going on. And it does take practice. It takes practice to be aware of what are we thinking. We think a mile a minute all day long. We have to get to that point where we can listen to our own thoughts without needing to fix them in that moment. You'll get to the fixing, and that's what the next few months are all about. But we have to be aware at the beginning, what are we even trying to solve and change? That's why knowing and getting to the space of orientation is step one. We don't just want to get to this place where we just act and we act and we act. Actually, when you look at that, Annette, you brought this up, the world is set up this way. That's the world we have. A world that is very reactive with, I would call it extreme reactions. Everything is all or nothing. It probably suits me a little bit because I can kind of get into that all or nothing mindset. But it's also, as I've learned over my many years, it's very unhealthy. It's completely unhealthy for me. I'll speak for myself to be in this all or nothing, blowing with the wind, reaction. It never set me up for success. It didn't solve any of the problems. I needed to take the time to get settled, figure out what is the direction I even want to go here. When I'm doing my word of the year, wholeness, there's a few things I've done that have contributed to a sense of wholeness in my being. There's also a lot I've considered, but haven't done at all.
Well, that's what the orientation time is all about, is to think about what are our options. Maybe the option is maybe I need to find a counselor for the first time in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I need to think about how I might slowly go about changing my career. We don't have to have the quick fix. And what we're trying to say today is, and all this week is, the quick fix isn't going to work in the long term, nor is staying stuck. It's orienting ourselves, listening, noticing patterns, and then setting ourselves up for success by getting the support and the knowledge that we need to move forward in our lives in a positive way, not in a knee-jerk reaction or because everybody is using mouth strips. Now I got to go do it. It's not that. Because you said something yesterday that was very eye-opening to me, where you said, like society kind of tells us what we need or what's wrong with us, and then we think we got to go do it. I've thought about that since you mentioned it. That's so true. Oh, I must read this book, or I must go on vacation at this place because everybody I know has been there. All the messages that we're told, are they true? And are they true for me? That's the question.
And we only know that through orientation. So our intent for today is, when I am patient and allow myself to become oriented, I am being courageous. When I am patient and allow myself to become oriented, I am being courageous. May not have thought of it as courageous, but we're here to tell you it is courageous. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our day is better because you are part of our day. See you tomorrow.
See you then.